Welcome to the Joy Meets Pain podcast. I'm your host, Dorcas. As a family therapist, I cannot tell you how many times I've heard people say, my family is the worst, or I'm too embarrassed to talk about my family, or no family is like mine. Well, guess what, listeners? All families have ishness, foolishness, happiness, shadiness, loneliness, forgiveness, hopefulness, goodness, and the list goes on. If you come from a family, like we all do, and are trying to navigate your family relationships, then welcome. Here's an important disclaimer. I am not providing therapy or medical advice. Please consult with your medical and mental health providers. And here's a heads up. Once in a while, I will curse. So if you're looking for a clean, no foul language kind of show, this is not it. Join me and my co-host Taki mid-month and end of the month on Wednesdays as we discuss all things family, both joyful and painful. Hello and welcome to episode 46, titled Happily Single. So in 2026, is staying single still frowned upon? Right, so celebrating singlehood does not require pretending that single people never feel lonely or never desire a relationship. It simply means refusing to treat loneliness as proof that singlehood is a failure. Married people also experience loneliness, just in case you were not aware. People in families experience loneliness as well. So just because we're surrounded by people does not mean loneliness does not exist. All right, so what are some of the comments people make towards those who are single? You may not say things like, you must get married, right? But simple, subtle judgments can be thrown out, such as, you'll meet someone one day, or don't you get lonely, or your standards might be too high. Why are you still single? You're too successful or too intimidating, right? Do you want to grow old and die alone, right? So these are some of the comments that are thrown out there. So there's a term I came across called singlism, which was developed by social psychologist Bella DePaulo. And we came across this word in 2005. She defines it as the stereotyping, stigmatizing, and discrimination against people who are single. All right. Now we know this happens in workplaces too for various reasons that I won't get into. But she does have books out. So if you want to read about her, she's still very much single. I will include a link to her website. Her book in 2006 was called Singled Out. She has a more recent book published in 2023 called Single at Heart. Okay, so there are some disadvantages to being single. For example, married people, get more recognition when it comes to paying taxes, insurance, healthcare decisions, housing, workplace benefits. Yep, like I said before, even social events and holidays. How come you're coming alone? Why are you single? And so on and so on. So there are some disadvantages to being single. Right? But we are recognizing that singlehood is actually growing. But many people still may struggle to accept someone who is happy and intentionally single. Okay, so we do know that, right, so the US Census defines unmarried people as people who've never been married, are divorced, or widowed. So in 2010, there were 99.6 million unmarried adults in the US. This was about 43.6% of the population. In 2022, the number was 117.6 million, which was 46.4% of the population. All right, so we can see that the number of unmarried people grew in the US. And again, just to clarify, unmarried does not mean that you're living alone, or you could be dating, you could be cohabiting. It just means literally unmarried. Okay. All right, so why should we celebrate single people? Why should single people celebrate themselves? I mean, numerous reasons. First and foremost, they have the freedom to discover who they are, right? They are living an untethered life. No restrictions, no limitations, just a life of freedom, right? So they can make decisions for themselves without constantly having to check in with someone, or, seek confirmation and permission sometimes in some relationships, right? They have the opportunity to build a full identity, to become more self-reliant, so they can learn who they are without also playing additional roles like being a wife or, somebody's partner. What else about single people? They have greater control over their time, when they go to bed, what they do with their time, who they want to see, right? So all of that is within their control. They have the ability to pursue those dreams deferred that I talked about, I think, 2 episodes ago. And, they are unapologetic because they are living according to how they want to live, right? So whether they want to relocate or travel or change careers or do whatever, this is fully up to them. Now, of course, we know culture plays a part in some families, but we are talking strictly about just being single. All right, so they can also develop and invest more time in having stronger friendships, choosing their chosen families, right? Whereas others might not have the same flexibility. But when you are single, you can be more intentional about who you let in and out of your life. You have the chance to develop self-trust, which is very important. It pretty much means trusting yourself to make your own decisions about your housing and, anything else in life that is important to you, right? You are protected from settling, so you don't need to settle just because there's pressure. You are choosing not to settle. Right. One of the most important is the peace and emotional safety that you can experience. So we already know that roughly, according to statistics, 1 in every 3 women in the US and 1 in every 4 men experience physical violence in a relationship. Right. So there are abuse comes in many different forms. There are many, many unhealthy, abusive relationships. And so those who are single are also choosing to not be in a relationship that isn't serving them well, right? And most importantly, they are living a life that is already happening. So they're not waiting to travel or buy a house or do any of those other things. They are actually living the life. So I came across an article which was published in 2022 in the Association for Psychological Science, and the authors are Gurmey, Park, and MacDonald. I'll also include a link if you want to take a look at the article, but it's titled Coping or Thriving: Reviewing interpersonal, and societal factors associated with well-being in singlehood from a within-group perspective. So pretty much the study was focusing on single people rather than comparing them to people who are coupled and using those stats to say, well, married people or coupled people live longer, healthier, more satisfying lives. This was just comparing solely single people, right? So they looked at intrapersonal factors, which means who you are as a person, your attachment style, right? your desirability for a partner, and so on. They also looked at interpersonal factors, so your relationships, your experience with relationships, any family pressure that you may experience, and of course, societal influences. So, what society do you live in? What does society say about, you being a single person? Is it stigmatized or discriminated against? Right. And we also know that I think in other studies, particularly in Asian cultures, it was found that singlehood stigma is prevalent because this idea of family and marriage is highly regarded. And I actually witnessed this in India as well, where people feel this pressure to be coupled. Some of them staying in relationships where they are very unhappy, where there's significant abuse as well. But yes, depending on culture as well, this can play a huge factor. So the intrapersonal factors is who you are, what you value, your attachment style, and more secure individuals who have a more secure attachment style were also found to have relatively higher levels of life satisfaction and also satisfaction with being single. And then those who have a more anxiously attached style had lower life satisfaction and also less satisfaction with being single. So there are a few famous single or never married people that I would like to talk about. Of course, I'm focusing mainly on women. Why? Because for men, it's not even a thing. It's not a discussion. It's not a conversation, right? It's a given right that they have. A man single, it is not frowned upon. But for women, there's always questions and what's wrong with you and what happened and why are you single and so on and so on. Right. So some of the famous women I will talk about, um, they have never been married or have just publicly talked about choosing to stay single, to enjoy their lives as is, but their statuses may have changed down the road. If they did, let me know. But English writer Jane Austen chose to live a single life. Women's rights activist Susan B. Anthony, also known for choosing singlehood. And one of her profound statements that she made was, "No man is good enough to govern any woman without her consent." No man is good enough to govern any woman without her consent. Yes, we have seen this has changed in our world, especially here in the US, where men who are threatened are trying to take over that right from women, right? But other famous women, Coco Chanel, the fashion designer, Tracy Elise Ross, well-known, famous actress, fantastic, superb, charismatic, just funny, you name it. But also publicly has embraced being single. Chelsea Handler, comedian, and actress and comedian Mindy Kaling. She's another one who's also publicly talked about being happily single. Well-known TV producer and screenwriter Shonda Rhimes, Grey's Anatomy, those of you who have followed that TV show for decades. And of course, she's known for many, 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 many other talents and productions as well. And then British actress, Emma Watson, she popularized this term self-partnered, which I love, and it means being happy and complete while single. All right, so these are just a few that I came across. And so here are some questions. If you're listening, if you're single, if you know a single person, if you want to be single, if you're unhappily single, here are some questions to guide you in your thinking. So, have you been treating singlehood as a season to endure? or a life to enjoy? What have you been postponing until you find a partner? So I'm not taking that trip to Paris. I'm not buying that condo that I want. I'm not moving. I'm waiting, I'm waiting, I'm waiting, right? I will not have a child until I have a partner. The list is endless, right? If your relationship status did not change, what would you do to make your life more fulfilling? All right, so do you genuinely want a relationship, or have you been taught that you are supposed to want one? This values activity. I should have a whole session on that because oftentimes you will find people are living according to other people's values and not their own. So this is always a challenge. So I will ask that question again. Do you genuinely want a relationship, or have you been taught that you are supposed to want one? Have you ever accepted less than you deserved because you were afraid of being alone? All right, then. I think many of us know many people in many unhappy relationships, and they are afraid of being alone, and so they do stay in those relationships, right? What has being single taught you about yourself? Are you lonely, or are you simply uncomfortable doing certain things alone? Big difference, right? And who are the people who already provide love, intimacy, and belonging in your life without you needing that from a partner? Do you have those people who provide that in your life, right? What freedoms or opportunities does being single give you right now? Take a minute, write them down, process, add to the list. Can you celebrate other people's relationships without believing that their happiness diminishes your own? If you're invited to a wedding and you see the happy couple, are you feeling like, I am not happy because I don't have this, right? So can you celebrate other people's relationships without comparing yourself to them? And so what would it mean to stop describing yourself as I'm still single, or just simply say, I am single. I want to be single. I'm choosing to be single, right? If you add that word still single, is indicating that there's probably some dissatisfaction there with your status. All right. And are you waiting for someone else to choose you, or are you actively choosing yourself? I think this is my favorite question of all the ones I have asked. I will ask it again. Are you waiting for someone else to choose you, or are you actively choosing yourself? If love arrives, what kind of person in life do you want it to find? Right? So not from the other person, but from you. What kind of person do you want it to find within you, from you, by you? Okay? And what can you celebrate about your life today exactly as it is? All right, so things to keep thinking about. What is one thing that you can do this week? Not because you have given up on love, but because you have decided not to give up on your life. Being single is not evidence that love has passed you by. It is not a diagnosis or a character flaw or an unfinished chapter. Some people are single while hoping for partnership. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. Some people are healing. Some people are choosing differently. Some people are experimenting, And some people have built lives they genuinely do not want to disrupt with a relationship or with marriage, right? So, my closing questions, comments are: you can desire partnership without despising your present life. You can remain open to love while you still love the life you have today. Being single does not mean incomplete. Whatever the reason, a person's life does not begin with somebody choosing them. Their life is happening right now. So please enjoy life as the happily singled person that you are. Thank you for listening, and as always, I look forward to chatting with you in the next episode. I hope this episode added something meaningful to your life. If you have a family-related story, whether joyful or painful, that you would like to share, please send an email to info@joymeetspain.com, or post a comment, or find us on Instagram and Facebook. If you or any family member has ever said, "Our family is crazy," we want to have you on our show. Thank you for tuning in and for allowing us to spend this part of your day with you. Please rate and review the podcast wherever you listen to the show, and of course subscribe and spread the word. Till next time, stay well and stay present.